A bank manager refuses a poor woman's loan. 24 hours later, she buys the entire bank. Before this story begins, tell me in the comments, have you ever been completely underestimated because of how you look? But before we dive in, drop a comment and let us know where you are watching from today. And if this story moves you, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more powerful stories just like this one. It was 3:17 p.m. when the loan officer at Newton Savings and Trust flipped her pen in her fingers and said the line Maya would never forget. "Sorry, Miss Porter. We just don't think someone in your situation qualifies for this kind of loan." Maya Porter, 34, sat across the marble desk in a faded blazer, hands clasped, heart pounding. Her knuckles were raw from weeks of double shifts at the bakery, and her shoulders slumped just slightly from the weight of single motherhood. "Is it my credit?" she asked softly. The bank manager, Derek Langston, 47, polished suit, Rolex smug grin, didn't bother to look up from her file. "Not just that, it's everything. You don't have collateral, stable income, or, frankly, the kind of background we look for in business applicants." Maya nodded slowly, lips pressing into a thin line. Her dream of opening a small home-style cafe in her old neighborhood had brought her here. She had the recipes, the lease agreement, even the permit ready to file. But now, she stood up. "Thank you for your time," she said quietly. As she reached for her folder, Derek gave a final smirk. "You might want to try a grant, or a GoFundMe, that's more your lane." The words stung, but Maya didn't respond. She simply walked out, past the glimmering posters of Empower Your Financial Future, past the cheerful teller who hadn't made eye contact, past the marble floors she used to mop in high school, when she worked as a part-time janitor after class. What they didn't know, Maya Porter wasn't just another broke dreamer. She had something no algorithm could measure, and a plan. If you've ever been denied an opportunity just because of how you looked, hit that like button and keep watching, because Maya's story is just beginning. The next morning at exactly 9 a.m., Newton Savings and Trust opened as usual, the same smell of coffee, paper, and corporate air freshener, the same manager in the same tailored suit, and the same bored receptionist scrolling her phone. But by 9:04 a.m., something unusual happened. A man in a navy suit stepped inside, flanked by 2 assistants. He didn't take a seat, he walked straight to the counter. "I'm here for a private transaction," he said, "on behalf of Monarch Financial Holdings." The teller blinked. "Do you have an appointment?" He smiled. "We sent the wire transfer 10 minutes ago. The confirmation is already in your system." Upstairs, Derek Langston received a text from the executive line. "Urgent ownership transfer in progress. New principal partner incoming." He blinked.
What?
His phone rang. It was the district director. "Derek," the voice said curtly, "Newton Savings is now under Monarch Holdings." "What? That's impossible. I would have known. You're being asked to stay put for a scheduled meeting at 10 o'clock with a new partner." He hung up, stunned. Downstairs, at precisely 10 a.m., the conference room door opened. In walked Maya Porter, not in her faded blazer, but in a crisp black suit, hair swept up, and a leather folio tucked beneath her arm. Derek's jaw dropped. Maya smiled politely. "Yes, Mr. Langston. I'm the new majority stakeholder of this branch. Monarch Holdings is a quiet partner on a few of my recent ventures. We just finalized the purchase." He stared at her. "You can't be serious. You were here yesterday, asking for a loan." Maya opened her folio, revealing signed purchase agreements, her own business registry, and a letter of recommendation from a top VC who backed her microloan startup 3 years ago. "I wasn't asking for a favor," she said calmly. "I was testing the waters, seeing how you treat customers who don't look the part. What would you have done in this exact situation? Comment your answer before we reveal what happened next." Derek sank into the chair, sweat forming under his collar. I didn't know. Had I seen your background?" "That's just it," Maya interrupted. You didn't even look." She placed the rejection letter he had signed just 24 hours prior on the table. Next to it, she laid out the branch's current customer retention data. "According to this," she continued, "loan approvals for applicants from low-income neighborhoods have dropped 42% in the last 2 years. But approvals for luxury vehicle financing, up 63%. Derek swallowed hard. "I've asked Monarch Holdings to let me implement a new policy," Maya said, standing. "One that prioritizes people with potential, not just polish. We'll be rolling out a financial education series, microloan programs, and an open forum where applicants can speak directly to a decision maker." She turned to leave, then paused. "Oh, and Derek." He looked up. "You're being transferred, effective immediately. The mailroom at Monarch HQ has an opening. I thought you might appreciate seeing how others live for a while." "You can't do that," Maya arched an eyebrow. "I already did. And unlike you, I looked at your record. 10 years of turning people down, 0 community outreach, no innovation. It's time for a new chapter." As she walked out of the office, the staff slowly peeked from behind monitors. Some clapped, some smiled, but one young teller, Marissa, 23, Latina, working 2 jobs to finish school, ran up to her. "Ma'am, I just wanted to say, Thank you. No one ever stands up to people like him. Maya smiled and handed her a card. We're launching a mentorship program. I want you in the first cohort. You've got potential, I can see it. Marissa's eyes welled up. Outside, the sun was brighter than usual. Maya walked to a car, an old sedan, still a bit rusty, and looked back at the building that had once dismissed her. Not anymore. She didn't just get her loan, she owned the bank, and with it every overlooked voice inside. Share a time when kindness completely changed someone's life. Or tell us about a moment when you witnessed true justice prevail. The following week, Maya arrived at the downtown headquarters of Mana Holdings in a sharp navy dress and heels she couldn't quite walk in yet but wore anyway, because today mattered. She was here by special request, not from Monarch, from the Federal Oversight Committee. She stepped into a sleek boardroom where executors whispered nervously. At the far end sat a woman with silver hair and a serious expression, Cassandra Blake, the lead auditor for the U.S. Banking Integrity Division. Miss Porter, Cassandra said as Maya sat, "We've reviewed your submitted evidence. The allegations are significant." Maya handed her a final document. "Here's something more. I interviewed 3 former employees who signed NDAs but gave sworn testimony off the record. They were instructed to deny loans to specific zip codes, low-income areas, predominantly minorities." The room stiffened. Cassandra reviewed the papers slowly, then looked up. "Why are you doing this, Miss Porter?" Maya's eyes didn't flinch. "Because people like me are told we're the risk. But I've seen the real risk. It's the arrogance at the top that believes no one's watching." A silence fell over the room. Then Cassandra nodded. "You may have just started something very, very big. If you've ever believed one voice can spark real change, keep watching." Within 48 hours, the headlines exploded. Whistleblower investigation expands into major regional bank. Low-income discrimination under fire after community CEO speaks out. At Maya's branch, phones rang off the hook. Some were customers, some were lawyers, and some were threats. Maya Janelle whispered, handing her the receiver. "It's the anonymous tip line again." Third time today, Maya took the call. The voice was distorted. "You're making powerful enemies. People don't like their empires shaken by janitors who became queens." Click. Maya sat still. The room around her felt colder than usual, but her heart, it was steady. That night, she walked Ava to school for a night recital. On the sidewalk, an older woman stopped her. "You're Maya Porter, right?" Maya nodded. The woman held her hand. "I applied for a loan 5 times before they ever let me through the door. My granddaughter saw your story on the news. She wants to be a banker now. That was worth more than fear." The following Monday, Maya hosted an open forum at the branch, the first of its kind. Every chair was filled. Retirees, nurses, artists, custodians, teachers, aspiring business owners, people the system had never seen. "I want to hear your stories," Maya said, standing in the center. And they came one by one. A barber denied a lease because he didn't own a car. A veteran who filed for loans 3 times but was always good. A baker who couldn't afford startup costs until a $2,000 boost changed her entire life. Maya listened. She didn't talk much. She just took notes. And when the night ended, she stood up and said, "Every single story tonight is a case study. Not in risk but in resilience. We're not changing the game. We're rewriting it. If you had the power to change one thing about the banking system, what would it be? Let us know in the comments. Your voice matters." Monarch's board summoned Maya. The chairwoman, Elise Warren, tapped her pen. "You've disrupted the entire structure. We're under public pressure. Investors are panicking, and there's talk of federal hearings." Maya nodded. "That's the cost of correction." Elise narrowed her eyes. "You came here asking for $20,000. "No," Maya said. "I came asking for fairness. But when you refused it, I bought your building." The room fell into stunned silence. Maya placed a deed on the table. "I just purchased this property through a separate holding group. You lease it from me now." Gasps. Elise stood. "You're bluffing." Maya handed her a document with Monarch's signature. "No bluff. I just wanted to see what it feels like when the ignored hold the pen." And then she turned to leave. No mic drop. Just quiet power. That Saturday, Maya and Ava walked into the branch together. The line was long, but people smiled when they saw her. Ava stepped up to Marissa's window. "I want to open my first account," she said proudly. Marissa grinned. "Of course, Miss Ava. Do you want a savings or checking?" Ava leaned in. "Both. Mummy says girls should learn how to save and spend wisely." Maya watched them, heart full. In the corner, an elderly man sat quietly. Maya recognized him, Mr. Ramirez, a retired gardener who once applied for a loan and was denied because he didn't speak fluent English now. He was there to sign for a $5,000 business loan for his granddaughter's mobile florist truck. "Thank you, Miss Porter," he said. "No," Maya replied. "Thank you for not giving up." 3 months later, Maya stood on a small stage in front of a packed auditorium. She wasn't there to pitch a company. She was there to accept an award. The Community Empowerment Leader of the Year. As the applause faded, Maya stepped to the mic. "I was once told I wasn't the right type, that I didn't look like a business owner, or a partner, or a visionary. But they were wrong." She paused. Because wealth isn't always measured in dollars. Sometimes it's measured in doors opened, stories listened to, lives lifted. She looked out at the audience. Today, this bank has funded over 500 trained 300 young people in financial literacy and built something better than credit scores. We've built trust. Tears welled in her eyes. I wasn't just buying a building, I was buying back power for everyone who thought they didn't have any. It was a quiet Tuesday morning when the security guard buzzed into Maya's office. "Miss Porter, there's someone here to see you." Says its personal name. Giselle Langston. Maya looked up slowly. "Langston." She stood, smoothed her skirt, and walked to the lobby. There, sitting nervously with her purse clutched tightly, was a woman in her late 40s, expensive clothes but tired eyes. "Mrs. Langston?" Maya asked. Giselle stood. I'm Derek's wife. Former wife, actually. Maya gestured gently. "Come in." They sat across from each other, two women from opposite sides of a story that changed both their lives. "I heard about the transfer," Maya said softly. "Is he?" "All right," Giselle nodded. "He's adjusting, but that's not why I'm here." She slid a folded piece of paper across the desk. Maya opened it. Inside, a handwritten note from Derek. "You were right, I was blind. I turned away from people who needed help, because I didn't want to admit I once needed it too. If there's any redemption left, let this be it. I've donated my severance to your microloan program." Maya read the words twice, then looked up. Giselle was crying. "I think he's finally learning," she whispered. Maya exhaled. "We all start somewhere. I'm just glad he's finally starting." And she meant it. If you believe even those who fall the hardest can rise again, hit that like button and keep watching. The final twist is coming. The next day, Maya was invited to a private luncheon at City Hall. She thought it was another press event until she entered the room and saw the mayor, 2 U.S. senators, and an older woman she didn't recognize. The mayor stood. "Ladies and gentlemen, today we honor a woman who's reshaped the conversation around wealth, dignity, and opportunity. But before we do, there's someone who wants to speak." The older woman stepped forward. "Maya," she said, voice quivering, "you don't know me, but years ago, I did something that changed your life." Maya tilted her head. "I was the loan officer who denied your mother's business loan." Maya froze. The woman continued, tears in her eyes. "She came in with her head high, plans in hand, and a little girl by her side, bright-eyed, asking questions. That girl was you, and I turned your mother away." She looked down at Broker and I saw the light dim in her eyes. "But I never forgot. I retired 5 years later, but I kept watching. And when I saw your name on the news, I knew I had to find you." She pulled something from her purse. It was Maya's mother's original cafe proposal, slightly faded but still intact. "I kept it all these years." The room went quiet. Maya clutched the papers, eyes brimming. "My mother died thinking she failed," she whispered. "No," the woman replied. "She planted something. You're the proof." 1 month later, Maya launched a new initiative, the Porter Fund, a grant named after her mother to support first-time female entrepreneurs from disadvantaged backgrounds. Each recipient would receive seed capital, mentorship, financial training, a letter from Maya herself. The first grant went to Jasmine Ruiz, a 22-year-old immigrant with a food truck dream and a folder that looked eerily like Maya's old loan application. "I believe in you," Maya told her. Jasmine cried in her arms. Later that week, Maya returned to the original Newton Savings branch, now renamed the People's Bank. Inside the entrance hung a quote. "You may underestimate someone based on what they wear, where they live, or how they speak. But remember, power often enters quietly and builds empires while you're not looking." Maya Porter. Outside, Ava skipped beside her. "Mommy," she asked, "do you think I'll run a bank one day?" Maya smiled. "No, baby." Ava frowned. "Why not?" Maya knelt beside her. "Because I think you'll run the whole world." Have you ever seen someone rise after being told they never would? Share their story in the comments. And remember, every small act of belief can change the world.